Good morning. So we're going to start out just getting kind of a stretch. So just open up your arms. Just get your feet kind of wide. Open up your arms and then bring your hands forward, reaching for the wall in front of you. Let your head and shoulders drop. Just feel that good stretch and then open again, nice and wide. Awesome. Bring it forward. You're going to love how you feel. At first you feel stiff, but you end up feeling so strong and so flexible, ready for your day. Open up. One more time. Good. Now reach over. Just get a good stretch. One thing is just remember to breathe and relax while you stretch. Remember to just enjoy every second. Other side. Good. We're just going to kind of get things flexible and stretched out before we do any strengthening, okay? Bring your hands forward. Just do like a little wrist roll and then the other direction. And then bring a straight arm with your hand and pull back on the fingers. So these should feel good. So stretching always feels good. Other side, we never work through pain. So even when we're doing strengthening, it shouldn't be painful. It might be hard, but not painful. Is that okay? Stand nice and tall, bring the shoulders back and down, and then just look over as far as you can. So what you're doing is you're getting a good stretch right here in your neck. Look over. I should talk about while we're doing this, our backs are nice and tall, head is reaching for the ceiling, and then the stomach and butt, our abdominal muscles and butt are pulled in. Good. And then the other direction. So our core, even while we're stretching, our core can be strengthening by being nice and tall. Good. Now tilt to this side. Bring your hand and don't pull hard, but just a little tug, keeping this other shoulder down. It creates a stretch right here. And just hold for a few seconds. And then bring your chin down. So what I love is just doing the basics. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hard. We're literally stretching our bodies and strengthening our bodies and adding in some balance while we're doing that. So we're doing the other side now. Just a little tug right here, keeping the shoulder down. Again, keeping your stomach pulled in, your butt tight, your back's nice and tall, and then your chin down to your shoulder. Awesome. Okay, so you should start feeling pretty good. Right here, let's do a shoulder roll, and you can get the arms involved to get a good roll. Even now, butt is tight, stomach's pulled in. The shoulders, don't hunch them up while we're doing this. I'll talk about like trying not to engage your neck. So a lot of times we engage our neck, or women have a lot of soreness or tightness in their necks, maybe often because of stress. So we're going to try not to engage our necks. Okay, now pull back. So just clasp your hands right here. Pull back right here. So you could do this or you could do this. We're doing this, pulling the shoulders back, opening the chest. So you're getting a really good stretch right here. Perfect. Okay, now we're just going to sit back on this leg, bring this one forward and lift the toe. So what we're doing is this leg is straight and then we're bending over. So you should be able to feel a good stretch in the back of your leg. Just feels awesome. And so we just hold for a few seconds, let the muscle kind of adjust. Here we are. And then this one. But I mean, really, this just changes how you feel. It changes how you carry yourself. It changes how you sleep, changes confidence level. And I feel like as you do these gentle, nice exercises, stretching and strengthening, that it strengthens you in your life too, which is so cool. Okay, so now you can touch something if you need to, or if you have great balance, you can just pull back. First thing in the morning, I sometimes do, I sometimes don't. So while you do this, we're not doing this or not having it clear out. We're going to try to keep our bodies still nice and tall with the thighs lined up and just get a good quadricep stretch right here in the front of your leg. Good. So this should feel awesome. It does for me. So let's do this one. Again, keep everything tight. So again, even while we're doing this, our backs are nice and tall. You're thinking, actively thinking of it. Your stomach, you're pulling it in, you're thinking of it. And another thing I should mention is the standing leg is not ever locked. It's always just slightly bent. We call it a soft knee. So think about a soft knee, that it's not tight and rigid, but it might look straight, but it's not. It's slightly bent, if that makes sense. So now this is a shin stretch right here. We're going to bring the knee toward the toe. And so this front leg is just a supporting leg. This one is just a stretch right here. Awesome. It's kind of weird, like you might not be able to feel it super good, but that's what we're doing, is stretching right there. And then this one, we're gonna do the same thing. I always do this before I walk or run, because then you don't get shin splints, or you don't get kind of soreness or tightness right here at the front. So always do this. And then the other thing I like to do even before a walk or run, and I always do it during this, is just do point and flex. So point and flex, and then take your feet in a circle. Good. It's just a good ankle rotation, and then the other direction. These things not only just are good for the body, but it also helps prevent injuries because it keeps a good range of motion going. So let's do the other side. Point and flex, point and flex. Good. Point, flex. When you flex, you should be able to feel that stretch in the back of your legs. Great. So we're just taking it in a circle, and then the other one in a circle. Good. Then I like to do this. So you cross over one leg and you hang over. So I have my right clutched over my left, hang over, and then you push your hip out to the left. So the leg that's behind, you're pushing the hip out that direction. And that is stretching, a good stretch kind of for your IT band. It's along the side of your leg. Also feels kind of good in your hips. So let's do the other side. So you lean over and then you push that hip out to the side where the back foot is. Awesome. So these should all feel fantastic. Okay. And then the other one we're going to do down here on the ground, and we're going to bring our right leg out and cross it over, and then look over your left shoulder back at your toes. And you should be able to feel this stretch in the right side of your body. Just feels really good. Just keep breathing and enjoy the stretch. Awesome. And let's do the other side. So bring your left leg out, cross it over, and then you look over your right shoulder, look back at your toes, get a good stretch. Make sure you're breathing. Awesome. Okay, so you should feel pretty good right now, just even getting those few stretches in, which a lot of people really don't take time to do. So that's the beauty of this, is we're kind of stretching, strengthening, balancing, all this goodness all wrapped up in one. Okay, so first of all, just something simple. We're going to take 5 pounds and we're just going to stand. Again, we're going to always do stand about hip width apart or shoulder width apart. We're going to always have our pelvic bone kind of tilted up, so it helps bring our stomach in, and then we're going to just tighten our butts. So the glutes, the abdominal muscles, are the back. From here to here is your core, and so it's just going to always be getting strengthened just by being us actively tightening, holding it in place, kind of locking it in place a little bit. So another thing is called muscles under, it's kind of time under tension. So instead of like one arm doing something and the other arm just hanging there, we're going to always kind of keep both arms active. And so even if we're doing something that we're going to do right now, instead of having them resting against our bodies or just hanging, we're going to actively just keep it away from our bodies, just slightly right here. So have it away from your body, and we're just going to raise and then slowly lower. And again, the raise is also slow. So slowly raise and slowly lower. Good. If this is too heavy, you can drop it or go down to a 3, but you're just slowly raising and slowly lowering. And as soon as I get up there, I start going down again. So it's not getting any rest. I don't go all the way to my body. Again, my glutes, my butt's tight, my stomach's tight, my shoulders are back and down. So even though I'm raising my arm, I'm not letting my shoulders go up with it or letting them come forward at all. Good. And then I'm also keeping this left hand away from my body so that arm's having to be under tension itself. So these are good shoulder exercises if you like those developed shoulders. And women's shoulders are pretty weak. So that's an area that's fun to work on. Good. Let's do one more. Perfect. While you're doing this, and then I'm going to hold that one away from my body, and I'm going to start the other one. While you're doing this, think about not letting your neck be engaged, because already I can kind of feel it in my neck. So you just have to kind of like move your neck a little bit and just think, nope, we're not going there. We're not going to hold the tightness in our neck. We're not going to engage the neck. So we should have a relaxed neck. So as we're slowly raising and lowering, think about that we're trying to cause resistance. So we're doing resistance on the way up. I'm not squeezing the weight. Like I could bring my fingers out even, but I'm squeezing the muscles, flexing the muscles. I'm having a tight arm. So think like cheerleader or military arm. So I'm purposely causing my own resistance as well. So part of it is the weight, but part of it is that I'm really tight in my core and tight in my arms. Is that okay? So isn't that awesome? Just something so simple. Okay, now we're going to come right here and we're going to kind of have our arms parallel to the ground, and we're just going to come out and we're going to come in. And when you come in, flex, okay? So we're going to come out slowly and come in slowly. And one reason we do slow is just keeping those muscles under tension, but also there's like no risk of injury. You're in control of everything. You're not compromising form. So my abs and glutes are like all tight. My back's nice and tall. My arms are really tight and strong and flexed. So see how I'm loose on holding the weights. I'm not squeezing the weights, I'm squeezing the muscles. So coming in, squeeze, and out. If this is too heavy, you can have no weights and you can do the same thing. It's still effective. Out, and my knees aren't locked. So my knees are soft, and I'm smiling because this is amazing. It feels so great. Bring it out. Good. You should be able to feel this. So now you can even drop the weights, and you could even do a little forward press. But again, I'm not doing this. It's not flappy. Everything's tight. My core is tight. My arms are super tight. Strong. Good. So we're just pushing forward a little bit. Your arms should be feeling a little bit tired by now. You should be able to feel something, and then flip it over so your thumbs are down and just push. So you're actively pushing forward and back. It's not like any bouncing. You're in control of the movement. Everything's very tight except for your neck. And your knees are not locked. Good. And you're having fun, right? Okay. Now we're just going to bring our arm across and just stretch it. It just did a lot of work. So we're just going to get a good stretch right here in our arm and shoulder. So this should feel pretty good. I don't like to push on the elbow, push on the upper arm more. Again, even while we're doing this, our core is nice and tight and tall. So everything's kind of locked into place with our core. So think about that. So you're actively engaging your core the whole time. Isn't that cool? Do this other side. Press it in. And take some deep breaths. Get the oxygen flowing to your muscles and tissues. Good. Maybe just a little bit of a shoulder roll. Check your neck. Make sure we're doing okay. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to grab 10s. And you can see if you need to adjust, totally okay. Okay, so we're going to stand kind of nice and wide again. Everything's locked into place. Those shoulders awkwardly are brought down. It feels like you're sticking your chest out. You're not. It's exactly how we should be standing, nice and tall. Chin is always up, so don't have your head down. Chin is up. Good. We're going to be right here again, away from our bodies a little bit, so that the muscles have to be working even when that arm is not engaged. And we're just going to bring up a bicep curl. And this, well, it's a hammer curl is what it's actually called, but it's working your biceps and bringing it up slow and down slow. And the reason we're going slow again is it's keeping that muscle under tension longer, gets it stronger. And again, I'm not squeezing the weight, but I'm flexing the muscle. I'm really making it hard. I'm causing my own resistance. So even if I wasn't holding a weight, I could still make that muscle have to work. So if that makes sense, try to kind of engage the muscle and flex. Another good thing to know is the way down, the opposite movement is actually kind of the more beneficial movement. So while you're doing a hammer curl, everyone thinks up is the best, but how you bring that down and keeping it tight is really important. So some people just like bring it up and then drop it. They're missing out on a good part of the exercise, okay? So bring it up, good. Now you should be able to feel that, right? It should be a little bit hard. So have it away and let's bring the other one up. If it's not hard, you could even go to 12s, but 10 should be pretty good for right now. So again, the right one's a little way from my body. This left one, I'm squeezing, I'm making it hard, I'm causing my own resistance. So the resistance of the weight isn't the only resistance we're doing. So I hope you can feel this. It feels good to just kind of work through our bodies, get the different muscle groups. It's really amazing. It's not hard to be able to do this, but I feel like sometimes it gets hard because it gets overwhelming. Like, well, what do I do now? Or, oh, I did that yesterday, so I can't do, or, 2 days ago, so I can't do that again. We're really like, this is just super beneficial. It doesn't have to be super complicated. Okay, we're going to go back to our original arms. We did great. Again, our shoulders are back and down, chest is open, butt's tight, stomach's tight, neck's not tight, knees aren't locked, right? We're going to come partway up, kind of a 90-degree angle, and we're going to pulse it. So I could do just like a quick little bounce, but we're not doing that. It's actually, I'm in control of the whole motion, raising and lowering, raising and lowering. Just a small little movement to really work that bicep, really kind of isolate that muscle. So it should feel kind of hard, but kind of good, okay? Good. Now bring it down away from you. Bring this one up, and we're just going to do a couple little up and down. These are called pulses. A couple little up and down movements. You're in control the whole time. That bicep's not getting a break, okay? Right here. Perfect. Good job. Okay, bring it down. Now this one's for the triceps, which is the opposite to the back of your arm. And so again, staying nice and tall right here. So nice and tall. Just bring this arm back. Now, when you bring it back, it's not back out. You're keeping it tucked in by your body, but just back. And then we're going to do a little bend and a really strong push back. A little bend, a strong push back. Now that left arm is still staying away from your body a little bit just to keep it under tension. But this one is really tucked into your side, but just you're with your shoulder back a little bit. Here we go. Squeeze, just engaging the back of that arm, okay? So a little forward, but mostly a pushback right there. Little forward and a strong pushback. So if you can't feel your tricep right now, as we get going, you'll be able to feel it. Squeeze if you can find it, squeeze it. Good. One more time. And now let's do the other side. So you're nice and tall. Keep that right one away from your body. The left one's tucked in but brought back. And it's just a little bend and a push back. A little bend and a push back. So we're just really isolating the different muscle groups, really making them work a little bit. Squeeze. We're not maxing out. You don't have to like feel crappy at the end of everything. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel strong. It's just about taking good care of our bodies. Squeeze that tricep. Squeeze. Good. Squeeze. And it seems so simple, but hard. Isn't that funny? Okay, squeeze. Let's do 2 more. Perfect. Keep that chin up. Now go back to the original arm. And we're just going to do kind of the same thing, but this time we're not going to bend. This is going to be our little pulse. So this one, we're just going to do the little up and down motions. Again, your arms should be tight. Your core's tight. When I say core, you know what I'm talking about now, right? Knees aren't locked. We're breathing. We're having fun. Just feels so good to work through the muscle groups. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, go to the other side. And then again, it's tucked into your body. So I don't have it out here. I have it right here with my arm back, and I'm just doing a little raise and lower. So it's not a bounce. It might look like a bounce, but I'm actually in control of the forward and backward motion. Is that okay? Awesome. Okay. So now, just for a second, do no weights and just open up right here. You don't have to come all the way forward, just right here, and just open and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring it forward, open and squeeze the shoulder blades, but while your core is tight, right? Your pelvis is kind of pelvic bone is tilted up toward the belly button. Squeeze. So your butt's tight, your abdominal muscles are tight, everything's pulled in, and just open it up. Don't let your shoulders be up here. Open your chest. Good. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Perfect. Okay, I'm just going to do 2 more of those. Perfect. And good job. Okay, are you feeling good now? You should be feeling great. Okay, now we're going to do a tricep stretch. So just you're bringing the hand kind of down your back, and then with the other hand, push it on the elbow. Keep breathing, so don't hold your breath, and we're just going to give it a little press. And breathe. Good. Nice deep breaths. And while we're doing breathing here, I would just think of breathing inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. So that should feel good right here, a good tricep stretch. Now let's do the other one. So hand down your back, take the opposite hand and give the elbow a little press. And breathe. Good. So that should feel pretty good. Okay. Now we're going to take a 10 again, just 1 10 this time, and this is called a Russian twist. We're going to get a good stance, maybe a little bit wider this time, lock everything in place, shoulders, everything's in position, right? And then we're going to bring this up. So you don't want it too far away from your body or it puts a lot of like neck and back strain, but you don't want it so tucked in that it's not challenging at all. Just about right here is good. And then lock everything in place. Knees are not locked though, right? Knees are soft. And we're going to come this way and then slowly come this way. Just get a good twist right here. So these work your obliques, which is the sides of your body. We kind of do the love handle area. And we're going to go over and over. Good. If you want to, just so your hips are locked in place, you're only moving from the waist up. If you want to, you can follow it with your head and kind of get a good neck stretch too. So you can be straightforward or you can use your neck while you're also twisting your core. Good. I would say if you have a mirror or can even buy just a little cheap full-length mirror, it's really good to be able to see your body, your form, I guess. So that would be helpful. It's not that you're trying to watch yourself in the mirror, but really like you can correct yourself pretty easily. But if you can't see what you're doing, it's hard to do that. Over and over. Good. So these are for your obliques again. And one more time. Awesome. Okay. So we're doing fantastic. So far, so good, right? One more oblique exercise that would be great to do is down on your back. You lay right here. Your neck and shoulders are not engaged, so those are relaxed. But your hands are down, palms are down. And then you bring your legs up. They're not out this way, so you're not having to try to hold them up, but they can be up a little bit so your lower back can be supported on the ground. And we're just going to come over toward the left while you hold your right shoulder to the floor. So you don't have to come over very far right here. You're just holding the opposite shoulder down, if that makes sense. And if it's hard, you can have your knees actually kind of pulled in toward your chest, and you can just only do it with your knees bent, but you're holding the opposite shoulder down. Now, you could do this really fast, but that's not what we're doing. You're doing a slow, in control motion, getting a good stretch right here. Doesn't matter how far you go down, it's just what you can do, keeping the opposite shoulder down. So these are called windshield wipers, and these are also great for your obliques, for your love handles right here. So again, your legs can be a little bit up, or you can have your knees just tucked into your chest. But either way, you're not trying to support your legs hanging out, because that would just kind of arch your back, and it would be different muscles you're working. So just get a good twist, but holding the opposite shoulder to the floor. Good. Let's just do a couple more. Awesome. So again, you can have your knees pretty much pulled into your chest doing it, or as you get feeling more confident and stronger, you can have your legs a little more extended, but they're more extended up, not necessarily out. Perfect. Okay, now just pull those knees into your chest and just hold and breathe. Take those nice deep breaths, and then just kind of rock it left to right. So this feels good. And then drop your right leg and just only hold your left knee into your chest. This should feel pretty good. Just get a good stretch. Just relax. The other foot's on the ground, so you're not trying to hold it in the air. Awesome. You're breathing. You're feeling amazing. We're switching. Good. This feels so good. Just pull it in. Just holding for a second. Good. Okay. Now bring your leg up, and we're just going to bring that foot kind of toward the head, but your knee does not have to be straight. Your knee can be bent, and you can give it, we're not engaging the arms or shoulders or neck, but you can give it a little tug. So it's not me having to grab my whole leg, but you can just give it a little tug, just help stretch. You should be able to feel that good through the back of your leg. Is that okay? There. Good. Let's switch. So this side, just get a little pull, little tug. Awesome. Okay. Now take the left foot, put it on the right knee, and then pull the right knee in toward your head. So you should be able to feel this in your hip area. And we're just going to hold. And it's okay. It doesn't matter how far you can pull in. It doesn't matter. Your foot's just on your knee, your knee's pulled in, and it just creates a good stretch right here. Awesome. Let's switch now. So put the right foot on the left knee and pull in. Just get a good stretch. Kind of preparing our body for some of the legs we're going to do. Awesome. And just breathe. Enjoy that. Great. And let's just do a full body stretch while we're here. So hands are above, reaching for the wall behind you. Feet are reaching for the wall in front of you. And while you're doing this, think of tilting the pelvis in just a little bit, again, toward the belly button, just so you don't get a back arch. Sometimes it throws the back off a little bit. Just take some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you're like, hey, this isn't a workout. This isn't hard. And isn't that great? Isn't that the good news of this? Everything doesn't have to be hard, and everything doesn't have to be maxed out. Open up your arms nice and wide, open your chest, and then just bring them up slowly and bring them over and cross them onto your body for a big hug. And again, we could bend our knees now so our lower back has better support. And just take some breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So good. So isn't that awesome? Just feels good, and then you're just ready to go again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some legs, and also it ends up being some glutes too, which is your butt. So here we go. We're going to be right here, and we're going to bring this leg out. Now while we're doing this, I could just bring the leg out, and I could be like core position, or I could be arching my back or stomach hanging out or whatever. So, but we're going to think kind of plank. So a plank is like this, where everything's like kind of aligned and straight. So while we're doing this, think plank. So you want your stomach pulled in, you want your back flat. You don't want to engage your neck looking up. You want to be looking down at the ground. And we're going to bring this leg out here. I mean, I could hold my leg out here and still have my core not feeling good, not feeling in control or tight. So I'm going to work on the core, including like squeezing the glutes and then having the leg tight, okay? So I'm doing a little lift. We don't want to lift too high or else it compromises our core form. So we're just going to go right about here and then down almost to the ground. And when you get to the top right here, you squeeze the glutes. You squeeze your butt. Squeeze. Now I'm actively trying to keep my back flat. I'm actively keeping my stomach pulled in. I'm actively looking down so my neck's not getting arched. And I'm purposely going down slow and raising slow because I'm tightening my leg. So I'm trying to use all the muscles in my leg to make it really tight, engage it as much as I can while keeping good form. Squeeze. Really take your time and squeeze. And then we're going to get right here at the top and we're just going to do some of those pulses, which is everything's locked into place, everything's hard, nice and tight, and just a couple little up and down motions, not a bounce. So we're in control totally. Doesn't that feel good? And isn't that hard? Awesome. Perfect. Now we're going to bring that down and we're going to do that with the other leg. So a nice straight leg. Again, abs pulled in, back is flat. You're looking down and you go slightly to the ground and then up. Slowly lower to the ground and up. Don't touch, just go close to the ground and then really keep a nice tight leg. Squeeze the butt right there at the top. Squeeze, squeeze. So this is a core workout since we're doing our core, since we're paying attention and pulling everything in. But this is mostly the glutes and the hamstrings. So the back of your thigh area and your butt. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good. So you should be able to feel this. Even if it's way too easy, you can put ankle weights on, but this should be pretty good if you're doing it right and really tightening the leg and tightening those muscles. Stay at the top now and just do a couple little up and down movements, but be in control. So you're not bouncing, you're actively moving the leg up and down, thinking about each little movement. Good. Hopefully you can feel that pretty good. Awesome. And now pull back. This is called a child's pose. Just pull back. You can even put your head on the ground if it reaches. But you're kind of getting a shoulder stretch here and also a good kind of hip stretch. Letting your hips go back. And you're breathing. Great. Okay. Now just right here, while we're here, we're going to be just push our hips out to the left. So this is just a good hip stretch. We did one laying down, but we're going to do this one also. And then we're going to do this side, the right side. Just push the hips out. The knees don't have to be together. Whatever helps you, you can have your knees however it helps you feel the best stretch. Good. Okay, let's stand up again and let's do some quadricep work. So this is fun. I'm going to, just to keep it simple, we're going to do a standing lunge instead of trying to move throughout it. And then what we can do is, as we get stronger, we can hold weights to do it. But for right now, let's just let's get used to it to make sure we have good form, okay? Because you don't ever want to compromise your form. I could do, forward and backward and do all this stuff, but if I'm doing it poorly, it's not worth it, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to have the front leg forward. The back foot's going to go pretty far back. And we're not going to worry about this front knee. It doesn't have to straighten and do a lot of movement. It's going to mostly stay there. But what we are going to worry about is our core. So kind of naturally, I'm backwards right now. I mean, I'm all at an angle, I guess. We're going to try to bring the hips forward. So it helps me kind of have a straighter back. And so I can still be pulling in my stomach and keeping my shoulders and chest open, right? And keep my chin level. So what we're going to do is it's more about bringing the back knee down. So the back knee comes down and then comes up, and I squeeze the butt. So do you see how the front leg's not really hardly moving? It's more the back knee dropping and then me straightening the leg and squeezing the butt. And then also not letting my hips be back, bringing the hips forward. So we're kind of trying to keep a nice tall back while we go down and up and squeeze. Down, just go down as far as you, or however you, as much as you feel comfortable. And then up, good. Keep your chin lifted, you're breathing. You're thinking of that nice tall back, straight back, down and up and squeeze the butt, down and up. Where a lot of people go wrong with these and a lot of fast moving is they end up getting the knee over the toes. And so that's where this is kind of nice, a good one to start on. So again, if this is too easy, you can hold weights and still do the same thing. But going slow down and slow up. And then the last part we're going to do, again, keeping the hips forward, chest is open. The last one we're going to do is go down to where you feel comfortable, and we're going to do those pulses. So they're not bounces, you're in control of lifting and lowering your body, okay? So you should be able to feel that pretty good, and then just come up. And you did awesome. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. So one foot's forward, one foot's back. If you're not back far enough, this knee's going to end up going forward, which we don't want to do. So you got to make sure you're back far enough. You don't want your hips going back. You want your hips forward, stomach pulled in, back and shoulders open. So you're trying to be nice and tall, and that back knee comes down, and then up and squeeze the butt right there. Down, up. So you got to be in control. I'm kind of losing my balance here. Up, squeeze. So we're just really engaging the quadricep. That's the front of your thigh right here. Good. And then here we're getting all of this back. So this is really good. This is also a good balance exercise, as you can tell. So we're getting our balance in as well. If you need to have something by you, a chair or be by a wall, you can totally do that to keep your balance, because you don't want to fall and get injured while you're trying to help your body. Good. So we're just going down, keeping those hips forward, and then up and squeezing. And then this time we'll go down and we'll do those pulses. That's just the up and down movement. Good. Just only as far down as you feel like you can. Be in control and also maintain good form. Perfect. So you should be able to feel that right here and right here, okay? So now we're just going to do a little stretch. Again, we already did this once, but that's the great thing about stretching and taking care of your body is you can do it throughout. You can take care of yourself throughout. You don't have to wait until the end of the workout to do your stretching. So just get a good stretch. Again, we're trying to be nice and tall, thighs lined up with each other, and just bringing that back foot, bringing the foot back, and you should be able to feel a good stretch right here. Let's do the other side. Perfect, nice and tall. Pull the stomach in. Even while we're doing a stretch, we can have a nice kind of be strengthening our core as well. Perfect. Okay. So now we'll do, we're going to do one that brings we're going to stand. This is a balance. It's also a core, always a core, right? So we're going to do one that looks pretty easy, but you might be by a wall or a chair if you need to. And it's just a lift and a tap. A lift and a tap. So this is the inner and outer thighs, lift and a tap. So what we're doing is our legs nice and tall. This standing leg is not locked, okay? The knee has to be soft. So a lift and a tap. You can have your hands on your hips if you want, but if it raises your shoulders, then just have them down so you can keep your chest still nice and open. Out and tap, out and tap. And isn't it weird how something so small can be hard? We're not going super high because then it makes us kind of tilt over this way, which we are leaning a little bit, but it's okay to lean a little bit, but we just don't want to lean too much, right? We want to try to keep our backs nice and tall. Good. So just a little raise and lower. This is hard on this leg because it's holding the weight of your body. And then this is hard because we're having to lift that heavy leg, right? Okay, now this time we're going to do those pulses. So it doesn't have to be far off the ground, but we're just doing a raise and lower. So look what we're doing. We're strengthening our core. We're getting balance. We're strengthening our legs. We're also getting the inner and outer thigh workout. Isn't that great? So much all in just one little movement. Isn't it amazing? Like you don't need all this fancy equipment. You don't have to go to a gym. We can do all of this at home. Okay, good job. So you should be able to feel that good. We're going to do the other side. So standing, just a lift and a tap, a lift and a tap. Think about your core. Make sure your back's nice and tall. Make sure you're holding your stomach in actively. Your shoulders are back, chest is open, your chin's up. So if you do watch your form, watch it with your eyes. If you're watching in the mirror, watch it with your eyes. Don't look down. Here you go. A little raise and a tap. This knee that's standing is not locked. Raise and tap. Good. A little lift and just a lower. You're in control, so we're not letting gravity pull it down and we're not swinging it up. This could look like this. We're not doing that. We're going up slow and down slow. It takes also more balance and it also causes more resistance. Good. Okay, now we're just going to do those pulses right here. So just a couple little raises and lowers right here. Awesome. Perfect. So you should be able to feel that pretty good. Okay, let's do, get down here and we are going to it's for your abdominal muscles, but again, it's our core as well. So we're keeping our backs nice and tall. So if I do this, that it's not worth doing. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep my back nice and tall, lean slightly back, and we're going to bring a hand toward the opposite foot and then go back. And then bring a hand toward the opposite foot and go back toward the opposite foot. So you're kind of opening your body and then bringing it together. So bring it together and then open everything and bring it together. Open. Good. You don't have to touch your foot. You're just going that direction. But you're trying to keep your stomach. It's definitely using those muscles, the abdominal muscles. But you're also trying to keep your back nice and tall and your shoulders still back and chest is open, okay? So it's about form. Good. But really let those abdominal muscles do the work of bringing you back and also pulling you forward. We're not doing any momentum, so we're not swinging up or just dropping back. We're making it have to really work. Awesome. Do a couple more. Isn't this fun? This one itself might not actually be fun, but overall this is fun. And it just feels good. Let's do one more time. Good. Perfect. You did amazing. Okay, let's do a little stretch right here. So bring one leg forward, cross over the other leg. Now, right here, then you can grab your knee or you can put your elbow in the opposite knee and you're just going to take this arm, bring it behind you. You're nice and tall in your core and you're just going to do a stretch, a twist. So you're just looking back. So you're kind of getting a neck stretch in there too, but definitely a core, a twist in your core. Good. We're just holding. This is a stretch. So not hard, should feel pretty good. Let's do the opposite one. Bring it nice and tall again, and chin is lifted, and then you're looking back. As you exhale, see if you can allow your core to relax so it can twist just a little bit more. Good. Great job. Okay, this is a butterfly stretch. So bring the bottoms of your feet together. And then we're going to use we can grab onto our ankles and we're going to use our elbows to kind of push those legs out a little bit. So we're just going to hold this stretch. We're going to breathe. Good. So far we've done fantastic, and I hope you're feeling fantastic. So we're on our backs, and we're just going to do a glute bridge. So what you do is shoulders and neck are not engaged at all right now. We're just going to bring our butts up and pull in your stomach, tighten your butt, and just hold. Just hold right here. So again, shoulders, arms, neck are totally relaxed, but this is all very tight. Tight, and then slowly lower almost to the ground, and then come back up and squeeze. Just tighten everything right here. Tighten, squeeze, 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 and slowly lower almost to the ground, but don't touch it. Don't give it a break. Come back up, squeeze, hold. Everything's tight. Hold, hold, hold. And then slowly lower. And then come up. And now we're just going to do those pulses we talked about. So, but now everything's locked into place, so it doesn't get a break at all. So abdominal muscles are pulled in, tight. Your glutes are tight. And you're just doing a little up and down movement, but neck and shoulders are relaxed. Perfect. Couple more. Awesome. Hope that felt great. Pull your knees in one more time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Awesome. Okay. Come right here. We're just going to do a downward dog. So what it is you kind of make a triangle out of your body. So your hips and heels are pushed back, but your heels don't have to be on the ground. And then right from here, even here now, you could be pulling in your stomach, right? Right here, we're just going to drop the head and shoulders back and just get a good stretch. You should be able to feel this through the back of your legs. And breathe. Good. The main thing is remembering to breathe, and then just walk it up a little bit. And we're going to do, my feet are about hip width or more apart, and we're just going to hang. So really, you just get a good stretch to the back of your legs. Your knees are not locked. Get a good stretch to the back of your legs, also through your back. And if you let your head really drop and shoulders drop, it just feels really good even through your back and neck. And just hang and breathe. Good. A few more seconds. We're going to just enjoy this. And then we're going to slowly, a vertebrae at a time, just take your time, slowly roll up. Your head's going to be very last. So slowly rolling up. And then your head will come up last. And that should feel pretty good. Okay, so we're about done. So now, just for the last thing, we're just going to do a couple little stretches. So reach over. Good. You're just getting a good stretch through here. And you're breathing. And you're smiling and having a great time. And now the other side. Just get a good stretch. You did fantastic. It just feels good to take care of your body, and we're just so blessed to be able to do this. A lot of people are stuck in beds all day long, or in wheelchairs, or are very in so much pain they can't do this. Open up and roll forward. So we're going to appreciate that we can do this. Good. Open up. Nice and big and strong. Good. Roll forward. Awesome. Open up again. Okay, there's one more thing I want to do before our final breaths, and we're going to get down on the ground, and we're just going to do a couple slow push-ups, okay? Because we're going to make progress with this, so it's going to be fun and exciting. When you do this, I want everything pulled in. So your stomach can't be hanging out, your back can't be in all kinds of areas. We're trying to do kind of like a plank, think a nice straight back, and we're just going to go slowly to the ground, almost to touching, and then up. We're going to go slowly to the ground and then up. So think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. While you're doing this, you're trying to keep your butt in line with your back. You're also keeping your abdominal muscles tight. In, down and up. down, and up. We're going to make progress with this. So we're going to do one more time and up. If you feel like you could just keep going, pull back into the child's pose. If you feel like you could have just kept going, then keep going. And ignore me and just keep doing those slow push-ups. But you're going to be excited to see how quickly you progress. If you just do a few each time you work out, then you're going to feel that, okay? So now we're just going to do, you can kind of get a little squat in if you want. Little squat, inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale. Get nice and strong and tall, and exhale. One more time. Inhale. Nice and strong and tall. Grab those hands together and just pull over to one side, but don't hold your breath. But smile, and then pull over to the other side. Again, don't hold your breath. You're getting a good stretch, and smile. And then give yourself a nice round of applause. You did it. So I hope you have a fabulous day. This is going to feel good. And we're just going to make progress. This is only a starting point, okay? But you should feel good. It never was like too crazy hard. We weren't like counting down the minutes of how much longer before this is going to end. You know, you can enjoy it, and the stretching throughout feels good. Sticking some balance in there feels really good. And just working through different muscle groups. And we'll incorporate more as we go, but this is a good starting point. And I hope you feel amazing. Hope you enjoyed it.